M-Class Podcast. Talking about Trek with my friend Josh. Woo!
Can we get Michael McDonald on the show?
God, I can't believe Michael McDonald is here, everybody.
Welcome, Michael McDonald.
It's me, Michael McDonald.
That's, wow. What a voice. What a guy.
The voice of a generation, right, Michael? Yeah.
Isn't that the slogan for Coke or Pepsi? Was it Pepsi?
Yeah? I don't
You
know,
got the right one, baby. That's what I remember, that one.
Drink of a generation.
Yeah, Coke, Pepsi. Pepsi, Coke.
Poke.
Anyway.
This is M-Class Podcast, a show where we sit down with a piece of Star Trek media, dissect it, make dick jokes, and have a great time. I'm Jeff.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Josh.
Today, we got not a special episode, because this is the 49th episode.
The sex number. We already talked about this, but we're going to do it again for the cameras.
It's fine. It's fine. This episode, we're going to be talking about the original series episode, Arena.
Yeah.
AKA the one where Kirk fights a guy in a lizard suit.
Dude, this episode rules.
I fucking love this episode, dude, for a lot of reasons. Like, for the reasons it meant me to love it.
Yes.
And the reasons it didn't mean to love it.
Yes. Agreed.
This is Season 1, Episode 19 from way back in 1967.
Oh, I was negative 16 years old.
I was 28.
Got out of college. Wait,
this episode is, I failed quite a lot. I was the Van Wilder of the 60s.
You were Van Wilder, or the PCU guy. Nobody remembers. Draws, that's his name.
Draws. That's new to me.
We should watch PCU for Jeff and Josh watch movies.
We should watch something for that.
I have PCU, and it's great.
This episode is credited to be written by a guy named Frederick Brown.
Oh, that sounds like a made-up name.
Frederick Brown did not write this episode. Gene L. Kuhn.
Yeah, Gene L. Kuhn
episode.
did. Yeah.
However,
why does Frederick Brown get it?
There's a John Larroquette fun fact of the week in this.
Oh, finally.
We're 2 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, I was going 2.5 minutes. I couldn't handle it.
But when Gene, whose last name shall not be spoken,
Gene L. Yeah, we're just going to say Gene L.
brought the Arena script to a Desilu research assistant to make sure that, they weren't going to be copyright infringing anything.
Okay.
They found out that Arena bore striking similarities to Frederick Brown's 1945 short story that was also called Arena.
Okay. Wow.
So, instead of changing the name or rewriting the episode, they just bought Brown's story.
All right.
So he received story credit on it, even though he didn't write a single word of it.
That's incredible. Like, do you think that it was like somebody read it and like it was like in their mind, maybe?
That had to have been, right?
That happens with like jokes, and a lot of times like comedians get really upset. But like you'll hear a joke or whatever, and you'll hear it like maybe like, I don't know, like 6 years ago, and then you'll think of something similar, and like you're not thinking about that joke. It's just in your head, right?
It's true. I mean, it's easy to tell if somebody's actually copied a joke,
right?
If it's like a word for word,
it's word for word,
and if it's like really fast that it happens.
Yeah.
But apparently, I imagine what really happened is like the research assistant like went to the records and looked up the word arena.
Oh yeah.
And if he hadn't have done that, then they would never know.
That guy probably wouldn't have even known.
No.
He probably would have been like, "My name's Frederick Brown. I'm nobody."
Could you imagine that, like, you're just sitting at home one day and you get a phone call and it's like, "Hey, it's me, Joan Pierce from Desilu. We rewrote your story, so we want to buy it."
Who?
What? The I Love Lucy show?
Now?
How you gonna do Arena on I Love Lucy?
Fucking, yep.
So that's your John Larroquette fun fact of the day.
Well, that's how interesting.
I thought that was genuinely interesting.
No, it is. You don't think about like there's a lot of like really great sci-fi from this time period, like book wise. Like you have your
you got your Asimovs, you got
Asimovs,
your
right.
Harlan Ellison who wrote an episode.
Yep.
You got a lot
So-
of great writers at this point.
And then you got Frederick Brown.
Frederick Brown, the original writer of Arena.
Is it a short story? Can I read it?
It is a short story. We should see
I
if
would
we
like
can
to
find
read
it
it.
somewhere.
I'd like to see how similar it is.
If we find it, we'll post it. We'll post a link to it.
Well, what was... Yeah, that's a good idea. What was revolutionary about Brown's story was that he had the Gorn blinking already.
They didn't have to wait till 2008.
They didn't have to wait, yeah.
This episode was directed by Joseph Joe Pevney.
Oh, is his nickname Joe? Wow,
Yeah.
thanks for clearing that up, guys.
I love that
Joseph
they put that
Joe
in
Pevney.
quotes.
Wow.
Like Joseph Joe Pevney.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought people called him Joe?
He was the director of some of the best TOS episodes of all time, like City on the Edge of Forever,
That's a
Amok
good one.
Time, and The Trouble with Tribbles.
Ah, the classic. Oh, I just got an idea. We'll talk about it. Well, let me put it on the record here.
Yeah, just tell me now because we'll never remember later.
we should do like a mini Tribbles set, and we could watch that and then watch Trials and Tribulations like right after and
that'd
see
be
like how
awesome.
similar it is. I've never done that. I've actually never watched them in a row.
Neither
so
have
I'd
I.
That would be cool to do that.
I wonder if
Are there any
Joseph-
other Tribbles episodes?
I don't know, actually.
There's the movie. We could watch Into Darkness.
Anyway, so I wonder if Joseph Pevney got writing credit on.
Are you talking about Joseph Pevney or Joe Pevney?
I'm talking about Joseph Joe.
Oh, okay.
Pevney.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same guy here.
He's tied with Mark Daniels for the most TOS episodes directed.
I love these names. They're so 60s.
They are. He actually won 3 Hugo Award nominations.
Oh, nice.
So he's a good director.
That's good. Yeah.
This is a
I
good
don't have any.
episode.
I don't have any Hugo Awards. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't believe you, Josh.
What if I just secretly had a Hugo Award and I didn't tell anybody about it?
What for?
right,
It doesn't matter.
I would carry that shit around with me and just be like, yeah, I got a Hugo.
Hey, my name's Josh. I got a Hugo.
My name's Joshua, quote, Josh, unquote, Henderson.
Joshua Josh Henderson.
Oh, that's what they call you.
They call him Josh.
Weird.
We actually all call him Joshua Josh.
Nobody calls me Josh. I hate that. That's the worst.
Yeah, I hate Jeffrey as well.
Yeah,
But
everyone.
people feel real fucking loose with calling me that.
I knew one of my friends from high school who I was in a band with preferred, his name was Steve, but he preferred Steven, and we were like, well, we're not calling you that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not calling you Steven.
I mean, I guess I get that. Like, maybe you just don't like it, but, like, the nickname version of almost every name is better than the full name.
Of course it is. That's why it's the nickname. Like, it's just naturally, like, water flows downhill, right? Like, it finds the downhill. A nickname is, like, the water of names.
Like, Rob is better than Robert.
For
by
sure.
a landslide.
They're
Rob
both terrible
is, of course,
names,
better
but-
than Bob.
Yeah, Rob is infinitely better than Bob.
Will is a lot better than Bill. Although
Yeah.
William Shatner goes by Bill Shatner.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
My grandfather and my uncle are both named Bill. But they're William. Like, that's their,
Yeah,
like,
Billiam.
Billiam, yeah.
Anyway, this episode has a long and storied history
Oh, God.
of being made fun of by the general public.
It's classic. This is a classic episode.
It is, and it's like it is hilarious at points.
It's got 8.1 on Netflix, though. Like, is that a joke 8.1, or is that I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, we're at like so many levels of irony that nobody knows anymore.
No,
is
who
it
knows
good? Is
what's
it
real?
bad? Who knows?
Is good bad? Is bad good? I don't know. Somebody help me.
Please, I've lost
know
track
this
of
bleeding.
existence.
I'm thinking about exiting this earth.
Arena has a moral lesson to it that no one remembers. Like, there's a moral
Yeah.
at the end of every episode of Star Trek.
Right. Which makes it a great Star Trek episode. Like, in my book, like, it's great. Because, like, that's Star Trek, right?
Oh, yeah. I think this is definitely one of the episodes that gets overlooked when people talk about character progression in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because
Because they only think of the costume.
True. Well, like, and people overlook character progression in TOS anyway. They think the first episode of TOS, like, Where No Man Has Gone Before, all the characters are exactly the same in the final episode.
Right, they don't
which
ever
isn't
grow.
true. Like, all the
Yeah.
characters change throughout.
Bones
And-
changes a great deal. Scotty or Spock, obviously.
Oh yeah, Spock
Changes a lot.
Finally, like, comes in contact with his human side a lot more.
Yeah.
And Kirk learns what it means to be like free of prejudgment and like
Yes.
free of like also prejudgments. I can't think of another word.
Prejudice. Like
Prejudice.
he's not as prejudiced. Yeah, I was thinking that when I was making myself a milkshake today. I was thinking about the episode and I was like, damn, I love milkshakes. But also I was thinking about how
Fucker, you made a milkshake and didn't give me any.
yeah, it would have melted before it got to you.
Fucking excuses,
Plus,
excuses.
I wanted it. But I was thinking about how, like, you know, exactly what you just said. Like, there's no credit for this show having any character development. Like, we think of Kirk as, like, this, like, stoic, immovable, unchanging force in Star Trek where he's Kirk. And for a lot of, like, that, we'd also talk about the negative side where he's also viewed as, like, this, like, weirdly misogynistic weirdo kind of
like
creepy
a
guy.
date
a lot.
rapist. Yeah,
like a date rapist and shit. But without any of these episodes, like, you don't get the character development that you need for, like, a good show at all. Like,
oh yeah, like
in this episode, he's like, let's go fuck these guys up.
yeah, Kirk
But
wants
then he-
revenge
Yeah.
in this episode. Like, he's bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
And he learns through the episode that, like, a lesson that people today probably wouldn't put in TV shows. Which is, like,
Exactly.
if you're attacked by someone, maybe you should stop and try and figure out why. Maybe
Why,
you're the
yeah.
aggressor and you don't even realize it.
Right. Which
And-
is so Starfleet. It's so good. I love it.
And it's like, in a modern show, Kirk would go, especially if it was a modern movie, Kirk would
Yeah.
go and murder this fucking asshole and kill his family, and he'd be vindicated, and he'd be
Yeah.
the hero.
Yeah, they would be like, yeah, we did it on purpose because we hate humans, and then it would validate everything that he did, and
Yeah.
it would be pointless.
But instead, it's like, we thought you were invaders. We thought you were
Right.
invading our homes, our territories.
Right.
So we retaliated to try and protect
Eradicated
ourselves.
you.
And Kirk is like, shit, like, we didn't even think to ask if anybody lived here already. We just moved
Right.
on the fuck in.
Yeah. Which is like kind of what they were alluding to in that Voyager episode about this time period being a little more cowboyish, right? Like,
That could be true. I mean, like,
I know
do
that they were,
jump
like-
2 feet, 2 feet into the situation right off the bat.
yeah, they don't ask anyone. They're like, this planet looks okay to populate with people.
Yeah, I mean, it was like apparently an outpost that the Gorn used beforehand.
Cestus 3.
Yeah.
You go there in Star Trek Online, and the Gorn are like helpful with you in that.
They're
so
your
like
best friends.
the story in that game is that you and the Gorn, the Federation and the Gorn, have like an agreement after the incident. Like they get together and they say, let's just like mine the planet together. Like we'll go back and we'll like find the resources
Well, that's
on this
cool.
planet.
I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool.
Slight fun fact of the moment, Cestus is a type of, like, brass knuckles weapon.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's like
What do they look like?
You put it on, like, brass knuckles, but it's got, like,
Uh-huh.
a gigantic, like, squared flat part on top of it that you just, like, knock the shit out of people with.
Should we? Oh, look at those. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I've seen these. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I know.
I've seen them hit you in the face repeatedly.
Do you want to fight each other with these? This sounds
Yes.
like a good idea.
Let's go to Cestus 3.
Is there anything more like 50s or 60s than brass knuckles? Maybe switchblades, but like I don't know.
Well, I've told
brass
this
knuckles
sto-
are.
I guess I moved in with a guy at college who was real 50s and 60s. I think I've
Yeah.
told this story on here before that I went my first day at college when I went to a smaller
He
college
stabbed
to
the
begin
door.
with. No, I didn't. I think I've told that story. This was a different college, the one that
Oh.
fucked me over. Anyway,
I thought they
like,
both did.
well, I got a degree from one, so it's a different type of fucking. I went in to meet my roommate, and he like immediately told me that a guy hit him with a car because he owed him money.
Sure.
And
as one does.
then when I came back later, he wasn't there, but there were 3 pairs of brass knuckles and a switchblade out on his desk, just sitting there.
He's getting ready for. That's crazy. Like colleges typically aren't okay
No,
with that.
they're not.
At Temple, they would X-ray your bag, like, which is fucking really crazy.
Yeah, they didn't do that here, apparently.
Like, well, Temple is like, I mean, it's crazy. It's like it's not in a very good part of Philadelphia, so I don't know if they do that anymore. But when I was there, they were totally fine with it.
They should if this guy's going there.
Yeah, right, dude.
Like, I went back later, and he was gone, and that shit was on his desk, and I was like, fuck, I'm, like, too tired to catch a bus and go home, so I'm gonna take a nap real quick.
Yeah, just forget about the knucks.
Yeah, I was like, well, you know, I live in West Virginia, people have weapons, I guess I'll have to deal with it. I took a nap, and I woke up, like, an hour later, and I rolled over, and he was sitting in his bed staring at me.
Cool.
And I'd
have been like, I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I moved out the next day. So
for sure.
I took a bus home and came back the next day with a friend and moved the fuck out.
That's crazy.
It wasn't.
You would have been murdered.
Yeah, like I either would have been murdered or I would have been his new girlfriend. One or the other.
I bought you for a cigarette. Put your thumb in my back pocket, bitch.
While we're in here, I better not catch you standing up peeing. I better not catch you standing up peeing.
You gotta tuck that thing back when you pee, boy. Or should I say, girl?
Ooh, anyway, but this episode is like, it's so well known to the general public that they remade, like when they did the fucking commercial for the Star Trek Into Darkness video game.
Yeah.
They had William Shatner in the commercial and the guy in a Gorn suit, and they fought each other.
Yeah, I have that as one of our commercials that we play to get money.
Yeah, give us your money.
Maybe I'll put it in this one if I remember.
It's patreon.com/mclasspodcasts.
It's a pretty good commercial.
It is.
Like, it's pretty funny.
But that has nothing to do with the game.
No, but everyone knows the Gorn, right?
Yeah, and everybody knows the Gorn.
It's such an iconic, silly thing, and unfortunately, I think these types of things, like because in the original series, get blown out of proportion. I would say
they get meme-ified real hard.
They get meme-ified, and like this show, like only suffered from terrible special effects because like. Nothing had good special effects in 1967.
This is great special effects for 1967.
This is like top of the line for that time.
Yo, I love the way the Gorn looks. I think he looks amazing.
So again, like I know I talk about Star Trek Online a lot, but like in the game you can pick to be this type of Gorn or the new Gorn, which are more like Godzilla-y looking.
Yeah,
like they're more like Godzilla 2000, like they're more like sleek and stuff. And also
Zilla.
like. and when you pick one, like that fucking P. Diddy Led Zeppelin song plays.
Oh God, no! I'm so thankful we can't play music on this podcast.
And Brain Stew with the fucking roar in it. Da-da-da.
Jesus Christ! That's how you could tell it was on the Godzilla soundtrack.
Yep.
I love the Gorn. I love the way it looks, but like. It does get meme-ified. Here's the thing, Star Trek fans. I know you're listening to this. I know you're mixed in with fans of people who love pee-pee jokes.
Yeah.
People have been doing jokes about the Gorn and fucking red shirts dying a lot since 1965.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's not... you're not coming up with original content at this point. Like... It's all it's regurgitated, right? It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's not funny. Look, it looks silly as fuck, but like only because we know what things look like now. Like back then, this was all you had. Like there were literally 4 TV stations, the 3 big ones and the one from your local city if you live near one, thankfully. Yep. That's it.
And I mean,
so this is all you could get.
You can read like people's opinions of this episode, like from back in the day, and they're like, "Fucking the Gorn is terrifying."
Yeah, it was very Outer Limits. Yeah, it looks very. It reminds me of Outer Limits. I was a Twilight Zone fan
Oh,
so like
yeah.
I never liked Outer Limits that much. But my uncle has like all the Outer Limits on tape, like on VHS tape, and we would watch them. And like this is very that style of like
Oh, yeah.
scary sci-fi-iness from like the 50s and 60s.
Dude, I always describe the difference between the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone as like, if you're watching the Twilight Zone, they'll be like, oh man, something's up. I don't know. Like, I can't figure out what's
Yeah.
causing this, but it's terrifying. If you watch the Outer Limits, it's like, hey, the episode's starting. Oh shit, we're in another dimension and there's aliens.
Dude, it's the Futurama scary door is more like the Outer Limits.
It really
where it's
is.
like, where they're like, God's humblest creature, the Tyrannosaurus. Like that was Outer Limits.
Like,
right?
I was watching the 90s Outer Limits, like the
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s Outer Limits, and like, at the beginning of it, it's like the Twilight Zone episode, like, where all the power goes off on the street,
Yeah.
and they can't figure out why.
That's a fucking incredible.
It's one of
It's
my
called,
favorites.
Maple Street or something like that. It's the name of it.
It's one of my favorites.
It's
And,
an amazing episode.
It's exactly like that, except a guy gets in his car to drive out of town, and he comes up against a giant blue force field, and he
Yes.
sees out of it, and he's in another dimension populated by giant pillars that have other cities on top of it.
That show had to one up maybe one of the greatest written television shows of all time. Like Twilight Zone is like maybe the best television show ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Like written wise, like it's incredible.
Dude,
and that show was
I'm pretty excited about the Jordan
Peele?
Peele Twilight
Yeah.
Zone.
yeah, it's on CBS. Fucking shitty access.
Hey, it's
though.
on the Pirate Bay. I mean, CBS All Access.
Just put your VPN on.
Yeah, put that VPN on. Go to cbsallaccess.com.
UPN, more like VPN. I'm Veeping, bro.
Anyway, we've talked a little bit about the history of this episode, a little bit about the cultural effect. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into the episode proper.
I like milkshakes.
Oh, we'll be right back after these messages.
Batman's battle against crime never ends, and now you can bring the action home.
Batman, ha-ha, you missed. Yeah, but I only missed once. You can't escape, Joker. Just watch if you can. You won't be alone for long.
And in the Batcave,
No criminal can hide from Batman. Batman, gotta run to jail.
each item sold separately from Toy Biz.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Hey,
Hopefully, hey, it's a podcast.
hey, we're doing a podcast. Hey,
Hey, you can't be racist against Italians. Anyway,
Mario Brothers.
so this episode arena begins with Kirk leading down a landing party. It's not called an away team yet. It's a landing.
Oh, well, they get a phone call first. It's a very important phone call. Right?
I think the episode just starts with them like going down, and we learn about the fucking phone call later.
No, they get a call from the Commodore. They're like, I remember because DeForest Kelly, Dr. McCoy, says some lame-ass fucking joke about the perks of command or some shit.
Oh,
They're talking
yeah.
about his chef. The Commodore has like a fucking great
He's a
chef or
personal
something.
chef, yeah.
Which, like, okay, whatever, sure.
So like,
And then they're like, we're coming, and the Commodore's like, I hope to see you soon, Jim, but we got a tactical problem here.
we got a tactical problem. Fucking lizard people are killing us.
Lizard people already killed us, spoiler alert.
Did you know lizard people are real? Did you know that the fucking crazy people from the 21st century were right?
The Anunnaki are here, Kirk. Bring your phasers.
Phasers do nothing to them.
It only pisses them off.
But they beam down, and it turns out the colony's just been wiped the fuck out. It's just desolate. On fire. Everything's still on fire.
Yeah. it's a pretty good set. They did a pretty good job.
It looks great. It's definitely like a
It's
set
styrofoam
as well.
Yeah, there's one part where they're leaning against like a ruin and it moves a lot, and you're like, yeah, because it's made out of paper mache.
It's loose because it blew up. Fuck you. It's
Right,
real.
It's rubble. It's rubbleized.
It's real to me, damn it.
I never get tired of that.
But they like jump behind the wobbly wall, and Kirk's like, red alert.
And then they start getting mortar attacked like it's World War
Oh
II.
yeah, straight up just explosions go off on the ground.
I tried to figure out, so we get our, this might be the first red shirt reference in the show that we've done.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't think I remember a red shirt dying prior to this, but I could be wrong. Because they're so forgettable. I'm gonna kill myself.
1966 is when these jokes started.
Yeah, 66, yeah. So like a mortar falls, right? And then the guy just gets vaporized from like the sound of the mortar.
Yeah, the
falling.
mortar explodes near him, and he turns red and disappears.
He gets vaped? Alright, that sucks, man.
But they're getting shelled. You're right. This is straight up like World War style.
This is like how they thought battles were, right? Because this is how they were at the time.
Yeah. But the Enterprise is up in orbit on over top of Cessus 3, and they start getting attacked, so they have to put their deflectors up. Their deflector
put the
screens.
shields up, the screens. I like when they call them screens.
Screens.
Screen doesn't evoke a lot of confidence in the defensive capability.
Well, that's more true to life then, because shields go down fucking super easy in Star Trek.
Yeah.
But so the landing party is like trapped. They can't beam back up.
Right. The screens are in the way.
They shut the
like
screen door, so you can't
It's
go
like
through.
when a dog can't go through the screen door. That's the analogy I would use. It's like a balloon trapped in a screen door
It's like a dog that blew up.
from a mortar attack.
Kirk is like, he leaves Sulu in charge, which is unprecedented at this point in
Sulu
television
is like
history.
5 years old. He's like a 21-year-old child.
They're all super young. He just looks younger.
He looks amazing.
He does.
They all look. I also wanted to point out. I made a note about everyone's makeup in this episode is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, like Sulu's
It is-
makeup in all episodes are ridiculous. He's
His
got
is
fucking
really
purple
bad.
on his
Yeah.
eyelids.
No, his is really bad. I think because like the way that his skin tone is, like they were like purple looks good, but like Bones and Kirk, like Kirk does like a ridiculous flip at one point, and like it's a like a medium shot to a medium long shot, and I can fucking see the fucking goth eyeshadow that this motherfucker has on his eyes.
Dude, he always has eyeshadow on.
I mean, it's like Zane wears eyeshadow like this, like
Dude,
on fleek eyeshadow, dude.
every time I watch TOS and like my wife is in the same room, every time Kirk comes on screen, she's like, "Man, that's some good eyelash work."
Yeah, see? You notice it. It's noticeable.
It is super noticeable. But like they open fire on the like unidentified ship, but it doesn't do anything. Like phasers don't hurt their screens. Their screen doors are made out of better screens.
Yeah, we also get the new effects for these episodes on Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
which
So
I've gotten more used to.
I like them. I will. It's probably unpopular opinion, but I like them.
It's
a
not.
lot.
You're actually in the majority.
I am?
Most of the time, the only thing I ever hear from people when I told them I didn't like them was that I should probably just dig up my own grave and fucking roll in it because I'm so old and worthless.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, I still think some of it looks crappy, but I mean, they do a
Yeah.
lot to like flesh out the experience a little bit.
It's a smoother experience. Yeah, it's not so like play-y. Like it's not like you're not watching a play, right?
Yeah.
It's more like a science fiction. It's like Star Trek. Like
There's not a whole lot of like still images being drug across the screen anymore.
Yeah, you can't see the mat behind it, like the box moving
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah.
Photon torpedoes actually don't work either. Like because they can't hit it. It's too fast. Like it's too
Oh, they're
fast and
super
it's like
fast.
they can attack from further away than the Enterprise can.
Yeah, they're better at everything. The Gorns.
And they're like, Kirk's like, do whatever it takes, like, leave us if you have to.
Yeah, go get him. He's fucking pissed, dude. He
Yeah.
wanted to eat that guy's personal chef food,
He's like, fucking, you killed my favorite friend, the personal chef.
who no one has ever met and cares about.
But, like, Sulu fucks off. He's like, I gotta protect the people on the ship. Bye.
yeah, yeah.
Kirk tells him to, and he's like, no, sir. You're my
pretty good.
best friend, Jim.
I love you, Jim.
You're definitely going to come to my gay wedding one day, Jim.
Wait, did he
And
not?
Kirk is like, yeah.
Did he not? That's
he did
terrible.
not. He says he wasn't
on.
invited.
Oh, right.
Sulu says he
Sure.
was.
I'm sure he was. Why wouldn't he be?
Nobody
Was everybody
likes
else there?
Shatner. Yeah, everybody else was there. Like, actually, Chekhov was his best man.
That's awesome.
But, like, nobody likes Shatner, so I could believe he didn't get invited,
Yeah,
honestly.
maybe he didn't. Maybe it was like they thought about it, and then everyone else was like, do we
Yeah.
really?
They
And then he was
probably
like,
did
"Alright."
invite him, and he was just like, I'm not going to that shit.
Yeah, he probably didn't even like get it right. Like he
Yeah.
probably was like, "What is this? Sulu?" It said
Who?
Sulu on the card.
Sulu, who?
I don't know who that is.
George Takai?
Sounds familiar, but I don't know. And he threw in his like giant barrel of like autograph,
Yeah,
like fan mail that he
probably.
got, his burning barrel.
Did you know that, like, William Shatner mispronounced George Takei's name forever? Like, he still does to this day.
What does he
pronounces it
say?
Takai.
Oh, that's okay, I think.
And
I mean,
like every
I don't know,
time
maybe it's not,
George
but-
Takei is around him is like, it's Takei. And he's like, okay,
Well, that's just gonna make him do it more. You
what an
just gotta go with
asshole. But Kirk like tries
my.
to get across the shelling. He's
Yeah,
trying not
he
to
does
get
a
shelled.
sweet flip for no reason. It's dope.
He does an action roll, and it's fucking amazing.
It's we don't get a lot of like camera shake because like this is like you couldn't move the cameras.
No.
I think the camera for the show was the size of like the ENIAC computer, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
size of like a warehouse.
If you turn the view around, it would be a bunch of people huddled around the front of a fucking train that had a lens on it.
It's like a fucking Full Metal Alchemist fucking train. It's like a steam engine.
Like Kirk gets a fucking grenade launcher,
Yeah.
which is super futuristic.
Which is cool as fuck. I mean, that's actually cool.
And another red shirt gets killed, like they always do.
Yeah,
Am I
there you
right?
go. Red shirts. That was our name when the Old Republic came out. Our guild name was Red Shirts. People thought that was funny.
Oh, that's cute.
There was so many hilarious. This is a completely different topic. There was so many hilarious guild names in that game. It was ridiculous. Looking for Love in Alderaan Places was my favorite.
I remember hearing about that one. Like, 'cause
I was on that server with them. They were fucking funny as fuck.
Like, I almost dated a girl who played the Old Republic constantly.
That game rules.
I did not. Date her.
Anyway,
I did not date her. But that's the end of the story.
great. Why not? What happened? Did you go to a
anyway.
sex toy shop?
Anyway, no, that was much later. Anyway, they like start firing like grenade launchers back, and their one grenade launcher makes the aliens stop attacking.
Yeah, they were like, oh well. Yeah.
And they like beam back up to their vessel, and so Sulu gets to come back to the planet and quickly pick up everybody who's down there.
Not the dead people. They got vanished.
No, they exist in the death dimension now, so you can't bring them back.
Nice. Magus too.
But they find a guy when they go down there whose name is Harold.
Yeah, he's all burned up.
Something Harold or Harold something? I don't remember.
Nobody cares because he's not in any of this.
No, he's like, oh, there
Tom
was
Toupee was the actor.
He's like, that's an unfortunate name.
That's his name.
He's like, there was an attack on the colony, Kirk. The aliens destroyed all of our phases. We were defenseless.
He's overacting like hell.
And it turns out that the message the Enterprise received was faked.
It was a lie, yeah.
The Gorn can fake audio messages.
They're fucking crafty, dude.
Yeah, they're not just big dumb aliens. They're smart as fuck.
You run into this a lot in Star Trek, and like they kind of talk about it a little bit later when Kirk is giving his like diary, I guess, or his like captain's log.
His
on the
captain's
planet.
log. He's giving his diary.
Yeah, his captain's diary. His captain's man journal. His murnal.
His fucking like he's Doug. He's writing his dear diary.
He's like fucking Doogie Howser. And like they talk about how like he's like, oh, it's like I don't know if it's like a human thing, but I'm like repulsed by these reptiles. And that's like a thing in Star Trek. Like in Enterprise they do this a lot with the one Xindi race is reptilian, and they're like real crafty and fucking like evil, kinda, because they're like
Fuck.
cold-blooded, right?
Yeah, fuck those fucking lizards. Am I right, fellow humans?
Yeah, go mammals. You know, we're the only mammal on Earth that maintains our breasts at all times.
Oh, yeah?
You're welcome.
That's good. I'm glad that we made that decision evolutionarily.
I don't know if we made the decision or if we just shows how into boobs we are.
Yeah, it's like breasts aren't like a mating thing in other...
Well, they are for us.
In other mammals, they're just like, those are for babies. And we're
Yeah.
like, no, that's for me.
So we probably were like, let's have sex with the ladies who keep them. And then they just all started keeping them.
Probably.
That's how evolution works. I'm a doctor.
He's a wiener scientist. He knows.
Yeah, wieners were like, yo, touch those boobies with your wiener. And then evolution happened, and here we are in space on Satellite M. Wait, is that this show or is that the other
I
one?
think that's the other show.
Oh, okay,
I don't think
never
people
mind.
who are listening to this know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, shit. Okay.
There's at least half the audience that are like, I know that. And the other half that are like, how do I turn this off?
What is this?
Anyway, they're like, what do we do? Like, we might be being invaded.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna
Because
have
they're
to
the
do-
only ship, right? Like, Kirk
Yeah.
is like, the Enterprise is the only ship in this part of the Alpha Quadrant. Well, they're not calling it Alpha Quadrant at this point, but...
No, this part of space. I think they
Yeah.
call it the quadrant of space.
The Quadrant, yeah.
But the plan that the captain comes up with, everybody comes up with it together. They all have a powwow. They're going to overtake the ship that's trying to get away with the Gorn on it. They're going to destroy it so that they can't go back and report what happened.
Sounds like a good plan. Chase the ship and blow it up. Got it.
Destroy our fucking enemy. Who cares what their motivation is? Fucking kill them.
Get him. They killed Cessna 3, and that guy Chef was great.
Fuck, I don't remember anybody else from there, but they fucking killed my best friend, Kelowitz.
Is that his name?
One of the red shirts who died was named
Oh,
Kelowitz.
Kelowitz. Oh, that's right. Go get him. He's like, go get him, Kelowitz.
Go
or
get him,
whatever.
Kelowitz. I'll stay
Yeah.
back here where it's safe.
Hopefully I'm not in range of this vaporizing mortar that's going to hit.
You guys go that way. I'm going home.
I am out of here. And he just fucking moonwalks out of the screen.
He's like, I'm about to head out, so...
You gotta hit the old dusty trail.
But, like, the Gorn realize that they're being pursued, so they, like, go straight to warp 6, which is, like, maximum
Super
warp
fast.
at this point almost, right?
Yes, I think 7 is, right?
I think warp 8 is maximum, but it's gonna, like, obliterate the Enterprise.
It,
to
like,
use
fucks up the, yeah, like, not good to do, right?
But, like, they're just, like, taking... Like, the ship sounds like it's gonna fucking explode on them when they go to warp 7. Like, it's like... It's like Mega Man
cranking all that-
charging.
You're cranking all that antimatter into that injector, dude. You're gonna blow it up.
That's right.
It's
So,
like hitting the NOS button in the Fast and the Furious movies.
You can't keep that shit going.
Gotta do it sparingly.
But, like, so while all this is going on, imagine Mega Man X charging his Buster in the background, and you'll get all the info you need about it.
And then think about how we're a family and we stick together.
This isn't the JJ universe. But, like, the warp core is gonna fucking explode. They're at warp 7, and, like, Spock is like, we can't destroy this vessel because there's sentient life in there. We're gonna be
Yes.
wiping out an entire vessel full of living beings.
Spock's very apprehensive about this. Like, he doesn't like this, which is, like, his role, right, at this point in the show is to sort of be, like, logic. I mean, obviously he's logical as well,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like, to be more, like, cautious and, I think that's kind of what they are going for with Saru, right, in the new Star Trek, where he's a little
sorta.
more... But it doesn't
Except he's
work.
like a fucking bland-ass piece of white bread.
Yeah, he sucks. Why didn't they just get a Vulcan? Whatever. Anyway.
Like, Saru is like... I don't have an opinion on him, because he's nothing. He's just
sucks.
there.
He sucks. He sucks. Like, let's
You
just say
haven't-
it, he sucks.
You haven't watched any of Season 2, have you?
I haven't, because I don't
Like-
have a VPN network.
You should get VPN.
I know I should, for sure. I don't do a lot of that anymore, but maybe I need to see it. Maybe we should do a podcast about it.
Maybe we should, actually. But Pike is actually like a really great character. And
Yeah.
every time he's on screen, I'm like, I like this show. And then he leaves, and I'm like, oh, wait, I don't like this show.
Oh, everyone else is a moron. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I was reading your tweets about it. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, motherfuckers. Anyway, so, like, Kirk is like, no, they've gone this far, no further.
Yeah, he gets real revengey. Yeah.
He's like, they must be punished for what they've done, Spock.
Oh, God, I love that movie.
And Sulu's like, they've matched us. They've reached warp factor 7. And Kirk's like, he sits there and he thinks for a second. And then you think he's gonna maybe he's gonna come up with a different tactic, but he's a man who's driven at this point.
He's bloodthirsty.
And it does like a close up, and he says, "Warp factor 8."
Yeah, and everyone like shits their pants.
And everybody's like, "Oh no, we're all gonna fucking die."
Sulu's like, I was going to get gay married soon. And a single tear drops down onto the console.
A single tear drops down, and he goes, "Oh my."
Oh my.
So they're closing the gap between the ship, and they're scanned by something.
Yeah.
It's like from like an uncharted solar system. They're being scanned. They don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah. Wait, did the ship stop? Did the other ship stop already?
No, it's like stopping right now.
Okay, that's right.
It like super like suddenly just starts slowing down up until like sublight speed.
Yeah.
And then is dead in space. And Kirk's
just
like,
sitting
fucking
there.
let's kill him.
Yeah, he sees like his opportunity, which like, I mean, at this point, like, I guess I'm thinking about it, they don't really like talk about it in Star Trek jargon like they would in like newer Star Trek. I guess he kind of assumes that like maybe they burned out their engines or something.
Yeah, well, he also doesn't care at this point.
Yeah, I know.
They know that they're being scanned by something. Even they know that there's a third party, they call it, out there in the universe somewhere. But he's so tunnel vision. Like, I have to get revenge. I have to get revenge, Spock.
He has to reap his revenge.
Revenge. And like Kirk's coming in, he's like, let's fucking kill him.
Yep.
But then all the weapons cut off.
Yeah, then they start fucking e-breaking it.
He's like, no, I have to kill them. Because he wants to murder.
Yeah, he's mad.
But then we meet the Metrons.
The metronomes.
the Metatrons.
The Metreons. Metreon gas. Metrons.
The Metreon Zenthos.
Dude.
That's from Teen Titans.
I didn't know that.
But they're they're the standard like TOS early TNG hyper advanced civilization.
Yeah, they're like a Q sorta.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like you're coming into our space so that you can kill. That is, we can't allow that. We must stop you.
Yeah, they're not into that.
He's like, if you guys want to kill so bad, how about we resolve this conflict by just making your captains kill each other?
A duel at noon.
A duel on the planet's surface. Man versus lizard.
Pay-per-view. $59.99.
Dad, I gotta get that. I'm not paying no $59.99 for that shit.
WrestleMania? Fuck that.
But the Hulk's gonna fight a lizard man.
Never mind, I'm in. This is the commercial for the pay-per-view event.
Hulk Hogan's gonna fight an Anunnaki.
And then the dad turns into Hulk Hogan. That's what would happen in the commercial.
And he's like, let's hit it, brother.
Yeah. I'm your new dad, brother.
I'm gonna fuck your mom, brother. And then I'm gonna tape it and my dick's not gonna work.
Then I'm gonna get millions of dollars.
Then I'm gonna fucking choke slam Gawker, brother. Anyway, so
Gawker, shit.
Down on the planet's surface, we finally see the Gorn captain, and he's fucking ripped.
Yo, the Gorn captain is slow as shit.
Yeah, he's like in slow motion. His muscles are too big. He can't move fast anymore.
Too ripped, dude.
And Kirk keeps like evading him. You get the idea that like maybe this footage was supposed to be sped up.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Like, like this is what everyone remembers, right?
Oh, yeah.
From this episode is the ridiculous, like stupidly choreographed. I say choreographed in quotes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
choreographed sort of fights that are just like he starts off with the double axe handle and that doesn't work, which you're in trouble when the double axe handle doesn't
That's
work.
like the ace in the hole.
Yeah, that's
that
your
you learn in
go-to.
fucking Starfleet Academy.
All right, troops, today we're gonna do the double axe handle, and they're like, oh my god, the most deadly move in all the galaxy. Nothing can withstand it.
Don't let the Klingons find out about this. We'd be fucked.
It's our secret weapon.
If you hit a man right on his back with both hands, it'll destroy his innards.
It'll hurt him so much, and your hands will be fine.
But like he keeps trying to fight him, and none of his attacks hurt him because he's got like 6 feet of rubber on top of him.
Yeah, I guess like they really hit home the fact that like the Gorn are super strong, right?
Oh,
They're,
yeah.
like,
Dude, he picks up
gets
that
his-
big styrofoam
Yeah.
rock so easy.
he does pick up that styrofoam rock real easy. He rips that stick off that dead ass tree,
Oh yeah, he just pulls it off like it's nothing,
Yeah,
almost
which
like
is-
it's a stick.
like a dead tree. Like,
Yeah.
how did he do it?
But the alien does mention that the planet contains elements suitable for fabricating a weapon.
Weapons, yes.
But like Kirk keeps like throwing rocks at him and shit.
Yeah. He drops. There's a one part where he climbs up. So like they shot this in Vasquez Rocks is the name of it. I don't know where it is. Let me see. I don't know where it is.
It's in California
Probably
somewhere.
But there's a picture of the rock right here. I'm looking at it. And he climbs up the side of this rock and he tries to drop a fucking rock on this thing.
And it
and like
taps his pinky toe and he like goes
he falls over and you don't see it. It's off screen. But him climbing up that rock, it takes 30 seconds. It's
yeah, he's like,
ridiculous. Like they don't edit it. Like they were
Nah.
clearly like they needed filler at some points.
It's
you know?
man versus the elements. You just don't
Yeah.
get it.
I'm willing to accept that explanation. I'm willing to accept it.
But like back
I'm
up
not
on the-
willing to accept that they were like, we have to cut all the choreographed scenes because this is ridiculous. So we got to fill some time here.
the fist fight with Kirk and the Gorn has got to end as soon as we can end it. But like the Enterprise crew are like completely incapable of restoring power. They can't use their weapons and they can't
Yeah.
even move.
They're on like frozen mode, standby mode.
The Metrons like call him and they're like, your captain's getting his fucking shit right.
I thought that was super convenient, like super nice of them, and like
Yeah.
passive aggressive though. Your captain is losing. He'll die soon. And they're like, if you have any burial rituals, now's the time.
Yeah, they're like, your captain is getting fucking dunked on. There's nothing he can do. And they're like, can we watch?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Then they like. Yeah.
And the Metrons are like, yeah.
sure. Yeah. Whatever. Sure. Why not?
But the Gorn finds the communicator. And he's like, cease trying to evade me.
Dude, it's great. Like, what's so good about this is like Kirk has like thought this was like a personal recording device. It's a fucking walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And he's
like
telling the
other-
Gorn what he's doing the whole time.
Like, the Gorn finally realizes that, like, this guy can't fight him. There's
Yeah.
nothing he can do about it. So
Yeah,
he's like, I'll show you the mercy that I showed the humans at Cestus 3.
A quick death or whatever.
Or, no, he says, I'll give you a quick and merciful death. And Kirk's like, is that like the mercy you showed my people at Cestus 3?
He's all mad about it still.
And the Gorn's like, those people were in my space. It took
Yeah.
over my people's planet.
Yeah, what happens when you go to like a snake area? Snakes just bite you. They don't
Yeah.
give a shit, dude.
You're in their area, dude.
Yeah, man. And what
A
happens when you go
snake
to like
area.
monkey area, like chimpanzees and shit? They'll bite your fucking thumbs off, man.
They'll rip your arms off and beat you with them.
That's what we do.
Fucking, they thought they were repelling an invading force. It would be like if fucking, like, I don't know, like, Russia, I guess that's a bad example now, but when we were a real country, if Russia, like, set up a base somewhere just in Florida,
Right.
we'd be like, what the fuck?
Or Cuba. Maybe like Cuba? That's my
yeah, maybe like Cuba.
Was that a thing? Did that happen once? Did the world almost end?
I feel like there was a crisis about it sometime.
Some kind of World War III prelude. I don't know.
But the Gorna's like, yeah, like, you guys invaded us. We
Yeah.
were trying to repel you from our space. And McCoy's like, oh my god, maybe we're the baddies.
Are we the baddies?
And Spock is like, it is within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
And McCoy says, you green-blooded hobgoblin,
You pointy-eared son of a bitch.
you might be right.
I fucking hate you. I love you. We're best friends. I hate you. I love you.
I hate you, Spock. Now give me a big wet kiss on my lips.
Oh, man. This episode got crazy. Real fast.
And Spock is like, it is entirely logical, Doctor.
And then that happens. Wow.
And they just fucking kiss. And
For
the
like-
Metrons are like, should we leave?
And
Or
they're like, no, record it.
send it down to the captain. And the captain's like, ooh, yeah.
They're like, this is our burial ritual. Burying that dick.
The Metrons are like, we do not know what dick means, but okay.
And then McCoy's like, let me show you.
Let me plant a big wet kiss on you, Metron.
Come here, Metron. You look pretty. You're like an angel.
Come here, Metron. I'll show you the good old Southern hospitality.
Oh, man. And then Ludacris plays? It's crazy.
How did they know?
Fucking crazy.
How did they know? Anyway.
And then it cuts to back down to the planet, and then dropping bows on him is playing? Shit.
And fucking Kirk is wearing a giant necklace with a dude with dwarfism on it, painted gold.
Oh, these are all references that I'm sure everybody gets.
Yeah, well, if we get it, of course the audience
They will
understands.
get it, yeah.
They're definitely all fucking old-ass men like we are.
They remember MTV when it played videos.
Anyway, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back after these messages with more ludicrous references.
Star Trek, the game. A game so challenging, you need this combat control panel to play it. Take command of the Starship Enterprise as you battle your way through unknown sectors. Blast Klingons. Raise your shields. Watch for space mines. Is this the most challenging game in the galaxy?
It's inhuman.
Star Trek from Sega.
And we're back with part 3 of this episode, everybody.
This is my favorite part.
It's the part where we continue talking about the episode. So Kirk is locked in Mortal Kombat against this tall man in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
And
It's not going well.
it suddenly hits him, right? He can make gunpowder on this planet.
Well, like, yeah, like, so he's like, he says some goofy shit that kind of doesn't age well for Star Trek, where he's like, he picks up this big-ass diamond, which is like the size of, like, the palm of my hand.
Oh yeah,
And he's
the
like-
planet
he's
has
like-
diamonds all over it.
It's got everything. And he says something, it's later he's like, oh, it's a mineralogist's dream. And like then, but earlier he says something about like, it's worth a fortune. Like all these things are worth a fortune, which like they wouldn't necessarily think about that so much then. I know they don't have
mean,
like replicators yet or whatever,
Yeah,
but like,
they didn't really think about it being a post-scarcity economy at this point.
right. They
Like,
didn't. Yeah.
I'm sure Roddenberry was all about it, but like the other people working on the show were like couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah. They were
So,
like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
like
You
they
commie.
talk about like I don't get paid enough for that and shit like all the
Right.
time.
Right. Which is like, what do you don't get paid.
But like this is a great moment that showcases that Kirk is much smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Like if I was alone on a fucking planet against a lizard man, I would never fucking think of creating gunpowder, let alone know how.
Well, it's this is where this episode also gets very Twilight Zone-y, because he's like something about sulfur. He's like I read. He says he read it somewhere or something, or it's implied that he remembers or read it because he's very well read, right?
Yeah, he's trying to remember the formula for
right.
gunpowder.
What's
He's
like what is about the sulfur that makes it like dangerous or whatever, and like. he like can't remember because like they don't use guns, right? Like there hasn't been guns for 150 years. Like it'd be like I gotta invent a Remington. Like how
I don't know how to fucking do that. But like Kirk
right?
read a book once, so he does it. He's much smarter than I am.
He makes a blunderbuss.
Like you don't become the captain of the flagship of the United Federation of Planets by being a dummy.
Yeah.
You hear that, JJ? Suck my fucking dick.
Suck my 2 Klingon dicks.
Yeah, Josh stole a Klingon dick and put it on.
I just sewed it on. I mean, I taped it on, so...
Wiener science. But, like, Spock is, like, impressed. He's like, wow, the captain's not stupid. Awesome.
Yeah, he says something funny. He's like, he's remembering or he's learning.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, adapted. Trying to tell him. Yeah, they've adapted, exactly.
But, like, the Gorn is closing in on him, and Kirk's like, oh, shit, like, I don't know how to light this or whatever. But then he rips his own uniform to show his fucking pecs, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
He's got to show his pecs in every episode.
Yeah, his 1967 pecs.
Yeah, his, like, be the hero of the beach muscles.
Yeah.
And he makes the wick out of it, and he uses the, like, translating device that the Metrons gave him to, like, light it.
I guess it sparks when you hit the coal, because he has to find coal. I don't really know the formula for gunpowder, but it's coal and sulfur.
According to Memory Alpha, it's sulfur, coal, potassium nitrate, and diamonds.
Well, diamond is the projectile. That's the bullet, right? I don't think a diamond. I don't know. He tries to find like a barrel, and he's like throwing bamboo sticks around. He's like, this isn't good enough. He's all like, I need a good barrel.
But like the Gorn is coming towards him, and he finally sparks it off, and it just fires diamonds into the Gorn's chest. It's like,
shine bright like a diamond.
And he just falls over, like, straight sideways. He's like,
he just perpendicular cartoon falls over, like, stiff.
And Kirk, like, walks up to the Gorn captain, and he, like, he's, like, about to kill him.
Yeah, because he had, like, a stalactite or something.
Yeah, and he throws it down, and he says, I won't kill him for you. You'll have to get your entertainment elsewhere.
Which is a great line. Classic.
It is. The Gorn disappears.
Does Michelle Nichols scream like she did when Kirk disappeared the first?
Wow!
She like freaks the fuck out. It's like, Jesus.
That was like a 1960s like horror movie lady scream.
Yeah, she like stands up and it's like, what? Like you've never seen anyone. You see people disappear every day.
But it's
you have a machine that does that.
It's her best friend Kirk.
She loves him.
But like the Metron appear, and it's just like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, they're like a 1960s like electric Kool-Aid acid trip.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, Captain, I'm 1,500 years old, and I'm tired of this shit.
1,500 is like, it's like a baby. He's a baby Metron.
Like, I've sent the Gorn back to his ship, and I'll fucking destroy him if you want me to.
Yeah.
And Kirk's like, no. The Federation and the Gorn can find common ground and settle this dispute. Maybe we can finally reach an agreement instead of killing each other.
Yeah, diplomacies. He goes fucking plus 12 diplomacy on us.
He says, you know, since maybe humanity is still half savage, but maybe in 1,000 years' time, like you've had, we can be on your level.
Yeah.
Maybe we can one day kidnap 2 men and force them to fight to the death.
Maybe we can be weirdly perverse in our combat rituals.
Like, the Metron was about to fucking wipe the Gorn out of space because Kirk wanted him to.
Yeah, like, how evolved, like, are they, right? They're not evolved. They would have been like, what are you guys doing? If they were evolved, they'd be like, knock it off. Go home. That's what they would have said.
But nah, he's like, yeah, kill each other for me.
Fucking kiss him on the lips. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit. Like, you just hear that, like, echoey Metron voice in the distance, like, oh, yeah.
It, like, fades out, and he's just, like, clearly jerking off. Oh, God.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
and then Ludacris plays.
What's your fantasy? Anyway, so,
oh, man.
like he gets sent back to the Enterprise, and they've been relocated, like an amount of parsecs away from the Metron.
That's a thing.
solar
That's a
system.
real thing.
Since parsecs are distance and not time, this makes sense.
Parsecs are distance and not time. Yes. I remember having to figure out parsecs in science class. It was really, I like couldn't do it. It was so hard.
I don't think we ever learned that in West Virginia.
We did like parallax shift, which was like stars like from a certain distance, like shift, like it's fucking, it's like math I was too.
Like I know parallax
hard to do.
shift. That's actually an animation thing as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know how like when in cartoons like the camera pans and the background moves at a slightly different rate
Right,
in the
'cause-
foreground to show
right.
distance?
So I did that like weirdly, not movement wise, but I did that when we did our Patreon video because I was zooming in and out differently, right?
Yeah.
So like the shift of the background had to match logically as best to my ability.
Oh yeah, like
logically.
the background moves, like when it's focused on me, the background is
Right.
like my
Has to-
side, and when it's
right.
focused on you, it goes to your
has
side.
to make sense, and like there's like a mathematical formula that like tells you how much it moves, but I don't know how to do it. So
Well, it's like nobody really thinks about the extra thought that goes into that type of thing from
Right.
the outside looking in. So that's really
Right.
interesting, actually.
that's the shit that like I mean I do it with Continue too, where like I'll do something like that with the background, and like most people don't notice it, which I think means like that's good because you're not supposed to notice it because it's supposed to look real, right?
Oh yeah,
But
it's just supposed to be like a background thing,
Right.
That is so natural that it doesn't spark any like
right,
uncanny valley. In
right.
your
There's
brain.
no like what the hell is this, right? Like, but it's hard to do because like it takes a lot of time. In animation, I'm sure it's like super fucking hard to do.
Oh yeah, like I don't like. I mean, maybe it was easier to do back in the day when you had different like glass panels set up
Right.
with background, middle ground,
could-
foreground on it.
Right.
I don't know how it is now. I don't really know
There's
how
probably
to
a-
do animation.
There's probably like a
really, so-
formula. There's probably like a program that like just does it, right? Like where it's
Maybe. I mean, there's definitely a program that you could like put the numbers into
right,
that would do it based on your numbers or the movements that you create yourself.
right.
But either way,
Anyway,
not here or there.
Science.
Kirk goes back to talk with Spock, his girlfriend, and Kirk says, "We're a most promising species, Mr. Spock, as far as predators go."
Ooh, like the Predator?
Yeah, it turns out that Kirk was a predator the whole time.
Oh fuck! I knew it.
But they have a little conversation about what happened, and
Yeah.
Kirk like reiterates his 1,000 years, and maybe we'll be able to prove ourselves to
Right.
the high and mighty Metrons, who definitely didn't do anything fucked up in this episode.
Fuck the Metron. Like fuck them, dude. This is. I kind of wanted to talk about the next episode we're going to do a little bit because these episodes are very similar and
Yes.
they're very different in big ways, but they're very similar in premise, right? Like, we're doing Darmok next, which is maybe one of the greatest episodes of anything ever.
Yeah, of maybe one of the greatest stories ever told.
Yeah, I had a sociology teacher who would show Darmok in college because it's so good.
Oh yeah, that's like a sociologist's wet dream.
Yeah,
These two
yeah.
societies that can't communicate
Right.
meeting up with one another.
It's like amazing, right? So like, this is where like Picard would be like, fuck you, Metro. It's like he'd be like,
Well-
no, like this is ridiculous.
you
like,
say this, but I got evidence, baby.
oh,
There's,
you do?
There's an episode called "The One with the Face in Space," Nagilum. I don't remember the name
Yeah,
of the
Nagilum.
episode.
It's called Nagilum.
Where Nagilum murders some people in Picard's crew, and at the end of the episode, Picard says, "Maybe once our species has evolved beyond its current limitations, that you'll see that we're on your level as well. Maybe
Right.
one day we can be on your level."
Yeah.
And he should have been like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, later Picard would definitely have been like, nah, dude, like,
Yeah.
we're way better than you right now, because, like, this is ridiculous,
Yeah, we've
right?
never kidnapped two people and forced them to fight to the death. So we're a little bit better than your silly space face ass.
Yeah, Metrons or Nagilums.
Maybe Metron is Nagilum.
Maybe. I mean, obviously, I think that's early TNG, so they're probably going for the same sort of theme.
It's like
poetry.
At this time, though, they probably thought that, like, yeah, like, the Metron are being, like, a parent, right? Like, smoke the whole pack of cigarettes if you love the cigarettes so much.
Put the soap in your mouth. Yeah, you're being children, right?
Yeah, like a modern day parent, like a modern day smart parent would be like, go to your fucking rooms, like stop fighting, go to your rooms.
Exactly, like I said.
But like a parent back in the '60s would be like, let them fight. They would let them fight and then be like, yeah, now you both hurt, right, idiots?
Right. What'd you learn, right? Yeah.
Not a great lesson, but
yeah, it just teaches you to fight. That's all it does.
Really, the point of the episode to me is that we don't understand people that we think of as our enemies. As soon as we categorize somebody as an enemy and we want revenge for what's been done, we lose all ability to look at a situation objectively and find a real solution to it.
Well, that's what happened in our lifetimes. I mean, with like 9/11, I remember 9/11 happening, and the race to find who did it was.
Oh yeah, we wanted revenge.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, well, like, okay, like, why did this happen, or how could we like let this have happened?
Yeah,
right?
It was we want revenge on who did it. It wasn't how to stop this from happening again. It was we wanted revenge.
Yep. So I remember that vividly and being like, oh, good.
They should have watched Arena.
They should have.
They should have watched this episode where a guy rips his shirt open and fights a lizard
with a gun.
Yeah. Maybe they would have learned the lesson that revenge isn't a dish best served cold. It's not a good dish at all.
It's bad. It's a bad dish.
Kirk learns this lesson. He grows a lot throughout the series and the movies as well, especially
the movies for sure. Yeah, I mean, the 6 is like the pièce de resistance of Kirk, right? Like it's the cherry on top of him, where he finally sort of comes to what we like think of as like Starfleet, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's Starfleet changing for the better as well, because he's like representative of it as well.
Yeah,
like Starfleet has had this sort of, ever since the beginning of TOS, had this like virulent hatred of the Klingons without any desire to understand them.
Yeah, just a big mistrust and a Cold War mentality.
We've seen some episodes. Well, I don't know if we've seen them because I watched TOS on my own as well, but there are some episodes where Kirk comes up against Klingons and they have to work together by the end of the episode.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, yeah.
And it seems like things are moving forward a little bit, but I mean, like, Kirk does finally find out he has a son and wants desperately to have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And then they murder him.
Yeah, that does complicate things.
So, like, all of that hatred and mistrust that he's had for the Klingons this whole time comes to a head.
It's validated. Yeah.
Like, he straight up says, then let them all die.
And let them die. Yeah, And Spock is like, not, like, to like Nimoy's credit, he plays it great, where he's not shocked that he says that. He's you kind of read like a little disappointment, but he's Vulcan, so he doesn't really have that.
Yeah,
and it's just god, that movie is so
like,
good.
Everyone in the room is like silenced when he says that. They're all just like, "Oh my god!"
It's a step in a direction that maybe they're not ready to go in.
Yeah,
right?
And I mean, by the end of that movie, he realizes that like the only difference between them and the Klingons is where they're from.
Right.
Like, people are people. People doesn't just mean human.
Right.
People are people.
It's that great monologue by the daughter when she's like, "Listen to yourselves, human rights, inalienable human rights." It's like the very phrase is racist. Like, she says it, and this is 1991, right? Which is like not like so long ago, but
like,
it
is a time when you wouldn't see a whole lot of that on
like
on sci-fi and stuff anyway.
And it's like, she's right. She's absolutely right. And then they change it. And like, I think that's the genius of the bridge between TOS and TNG is like, it's not where no man has gone before. It's where no one. Like, they start to change.
That's the ending. That's like the most beautiful ending
it's amazing.
of any Star Trek thing, in my opinion. When
great.
It's the sunrise over the planet.
Yeah.
And Kirk says, where no one has gone.
He corrects
before.
himself.
Where no man, where no one
Right.
has gone before.
I think we're sort of going through that now in our real life, right? Where like we're trying to be a little more precise with how we label people and things.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it's all in an effort, I think, to just be a little better to each other, you know?
that's the ultimate goal that we as human beings should be striving towards. Is every day trying to do something in order to treat each other a little better, because we've been killing each other for millennia at this point.
Well,
over nothing.
I was talking to my mom about this, like, not about Star Trek, but like just about like stuff that's going on, and I've been saying this for like a long time. There's only one direction we can go in.
Like, you can drag it back as much as you want. Like, time marches on.
If we don't do this, we're done. And we're stubborn as fuck as a species, and we don't want to acknowledge that, like, at some point, we're gonna need to all get together and figure out what we're doing here, right? And we're gonna need some earth-shattering changes that are not gonna happen overnight, but
they
changes
need to happen though.
Yes, but or we're fucked, or we're dead, and it might be too late. I don't know, but
Well, it got to the point so long ago where our decisions on a national level, or even below a national level, affect the entire world.
right.
Like, if we don't come together and figure out how to control how those decisions affect the world together,
Right.
then there's not going to be a world left.
That's gonna be it. Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean, I
core
think-
of Star Trek, though, right?
Yeah, yes.
Is like the first step towards Starfleet, the first step towards the brighter future where we're all equal, we're all treated well, we all have what we need to live.
we have
and
rights.
thrive.
We all have freedom and freedom of the press. Like all the Bill of Rights crap is mixed in with all
Yeah.
this other like shit, right? Yeah.
That first step is treating each other a little bit better. That's the first baby toe in the water that is the sea of the Star Trek future that we all want.
I think we all saw the begin. Like we're living through the beginning of it, but we're seeing we saw it with the internet and how like kind of our generation feels about other places where we're just like, oh, it's just like wherever. It's just like Canada or England or Europe or Asia. Like that's whatever. Like we all play video games together and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think now we're seeing the hangers on of the old ways rebel against that, and they're afraid of it.
Oh yeah, there's no isolationism in this world anymore. It doesn't
Yeah.
work that way. Like
it may have never worked that way, honestly.
probably not. Like, I mean, there was a time when you couldn't go around the world in like a
Right.
couple hours.
Right.
But that's not today. Today
Right.
you can jump on a plane and go anywhere on Earth within a day.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy.
the world is a much smaller place than it's ever been, and you hear that phrase all the time, but what that really means is that we as people should be closer together too.
Yeah, well, we have to be, and that's the problem. I think is we're seeing the human race and certain aspects of the human race throw a temper tantrum about it. Rich people, white people, old people.
People want to hold on to what they have.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
these people feel like they have control.
Well,
in
when you
some
don't
way.
have anything, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Well, it's like you don't have control, really. It's the
No, nobody has
illusion.
control over anything. Exactly. Like, we're
world is
hurtling
a-
through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, what the fuck is there to control, dude?
The world is a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Every person on Earth has their hand on the planchette.
Yep. Is that what it's
And-
called?
I think so.
I never knew that.
And we're
How
all moving
interesting.
it together. There are
Yeah.
people who are like, it's all moving, and there are people who are like, I'm the one controlling this.
Right, I'm the one, right.
But you're
yeah.
not. Everyone's hand is on it.
Right.
That's Earth.
Yep.
And that's going to be beyond Earth if we ever get there.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, we're going to need to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Kirk learns by the end of his journey. That even the planchet's moving and there's a Klingon hand on it as well.
Right.
Whether he wanted to accept that or not. The fate of the universe is in all of their hands, and if you treat each other better, if you stop fighting, if you try to understand one another, there's a chance that you can work together to move that planchet in the direction you want, to say, ooh, I'm a ghost.
Oh, man, that analogy was way better than I thought it was going to be. That was an incredible analogy.
I'm pretty good at this shit.
I liked it because the ghost at the end.
It got real spooky at the end, didn't it?
It made me think, like, maybe there is a ghost.
Maybe there's a universal ghost that we all know. His name is Jesus. This is a Christ cast now.
God is an awesome God, he reigns. Oh, my God.
This episode is a learning episode. It's an episode where we as an audience get a moral that's like, probably like, only going to become more pertinent as time goes on.
Yes, I believe that for sure. I don't think we have a choice. Honestly, I don't think we. I think we've crossed the Rubicon. That's it. We got to do it. We have to. There's no other.
I'm
way.
on board. Like, we're on board. Like, anybody who listens to this show is on board with like an inclusive world where we all treat each other better and we all try a little harder.
Right. Just a little bit. Like we're not gonna have to like. I know we rag, me specifically rags on like baby boomers and stuff like that. Only because they're so terrible, but also like they're afraid, like you said, Jeff, they're afraid of like, well, I'm gonna have to use a different bathroom. It's like, yeah, so what? Like,
why does that bother you?
Who gives a shit, dude? You can still take a piss and shit. Just be glad you can take a piss and shit.
Like, I was talking to somebody at my old job, and they were like, yeah, they're letting them transsexuals into our bathrooms, and I don't want no tranny in there with my daughter.
I'm always like, well, what are you, like, in the Ben's room, like, looking at dudes taking it? Like, who gives a fuck, dude?
Here's the thing, dude. Like, if somebody wanted to have sex with somebody in a bathroom, they could do it in the ones we got now.
Yeah, they'll just do it anyway. They'll just fucking do it.
Like, let people piss in the hole they want to piss in. Why does it matter?
But the rules, I had to follow them. That's their mentality. And it's like...
here's the thing. It's better that people don't have the same problems you had.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's
like, we always joke
plan,
about,
right?
like, how much worse it was when we were kids. Like, you had to watch shitty TV shows because there was nothing on or whatever.
Right.
I'm psyched people don't have to do with that.
Yeah, it's great. I also don't have to do it anymore. It's great.
Fuck yeah. Like... I don't see myself not following new technology as I get older, because technology
that's what we always
is
talk
fucking
about, right?
Awesome.
I don't think it's possible. I think I'm a little older than you, and I think my my year is like the cutoff, right? Because I know people who are a little bit older than me, and most of them are like me. Some of them aren't though. Like they're a little more Gen X, right? Mm-hmm. But I think like you definitely are like in the sphere of like that's definitely a thing, and I feel like I am too. I do get made fun of a lot because like I like hate phones just because I don't like people talking to me though. Like I just hate.
Well, that's just a personal preference,
right?
Like,
I don't like
love having a phone to have all that.
I'm not gonna not have a phone, right? I'm not gonna not have a phone, but like I don't want people to like constantly talk to me. But
some people
also
do.
agree.
Like I'm not big on people constantly having access to me either. But that's why, like, if I get a message or something and I don't feel like answering it, I'll just answer it later.
Yeah, just ignore it. Yeah.
And
I did that to my mom. Like my mom went to the eye doctor and like she couldn't see because they dilate your eyes, right? Mm-hmm. And she texted me to come get her, and I just left and went to go get her. And I didn't answer the text. Back. Yeah, because like that was the plan, right? Like, yeah. And then she was like, "I didn't know if you were coming," and I was like, "Yeah, like you need me to tell you? Like I'm on my I'm like 5 minutes away." I guess you could have been dead. Nobody knows. I guess I could have been dead. God willing, I wish I was.
Like every time technology makes this leap, there are people who are terrified of it, and there are people who are excited by it.
Right.
Like when they come out and they're like, hey, like maybe we found a way to create like stem cells.
Yeah, people get real
and
upset
people are
about
like,
it.
"Oh my god, you're like fucking with the natural order. You're fucking with it."
That's
And,
all
like,
we've ever done, though. Like that's,
people like us see it, and they're like, "Good, that'll help so many people. That's
Right.
awesome."
yeah,
And there's like smaller stuff where like these people come out and they're like, "Hey, like maybe we found a way to like create fake meat."
yeah, they're worried about that. We always talk
And-
about that, didn't we? Didn't you and I have a discussion?
Yeah, we've talked
this?
about fake meat before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on board.
Fuck it. Yeah,
I'm,
who gives
I'm
a
like
shit?
100% on board for fake meat.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
if it
care.
tastes anything like meat, and we
Yeah.
don't have to like have the giant
Yeah.
industries that fuck up our planet making meat.
Yeah,
I'm all
I'll
on
eat-
board.
I'll eat fake ass meat, dude. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck how you make
Dude,
it.
I go to McDonald's sometimes. I eat fake ass meat all the time.
I went to Taco Bell the other day. Pretty sure that was plastic.
Yeah, I'm on board. But there
Yeah.
are people who are like sort of set in their ways. I think
Yeah,
that's like
they
a
freak out
smaller
about it.
thing. I don't think you're like pushing back against the future if you don't want to eat plastic meat.
No,
But I
no,
do.
no.
I want to eat that plastic meat.
I mean, I think it's good. It's fine with me. I'm not worried about that stuff. I'm not worried about robots. I'm not worried about any of
Nah,
that stuff.
I'm not worried about robots either.
I
Like,
don't care. Whatever.
I love robot fiction. I think I've
Yeah.
talked about that before. Like, I absolutely love the idea that like something man-made is more than the sum of its parts,
Right.
and like the idea of like a digital soul, like the thing that makes
Yeah.
humans human, whatever it is, and
Jeff,
that it
you
just
gotta
can be
watch.
sparked.
You gotta watch Battlestar Galactica, Jeff. Jeff, you gotta watch Battlestar Galactica.
It's on the list.
We're progressing. Usually, you'd be like, "What?"
Yeah,
I don't
we're
know what you're
progressing.
saying.
We're progressing because like I've been trying to not spend so much time working. I'm
Yeah,
trying to like
don't
have
hurt
like a
your
little
wrist.
bit of time doing something else.
Oh well, if you start watching Battlestar, you'll just forget what day it is, and you'll be like, "I've been watching this for 7 days."
I got shit to do is the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing is like Battlestar is such a commitment.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
good,
I'm
though.
gonna have to give up a year of my life to the show.
Yeah, but you do it with like DS9, right?
I haven't watched through any show besides like Netflix short shows in a couple
Yeah.
of years.
Yeah,
Especially not since I went freelance. Like the longest thing I've watched since I went freelance is like The Umbrella Academy.
and that's like 13 episodes.
Yeah, like 13, maybe 16 episodes is the
whatever
longest
it
I've
is.
ever watched.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that show though. The Umbrella Academy was pretty good.
I liked it too. It was cool. I don't like him. I don't like the dude. What's his name?
What the
Black Parade. Like, I don't know his name.
Gerard Way.
Yeah, I don't like him.
The
I don't
thing
like his
is-
music. so.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't like his music, but he's a really great comic book writer.
Yeah, no, it was. I was almost shocked at how good it was. I was like, this
Yeah.
is really good.
Like he wrote one of my favorite runs of Doom Patrol ever
Yeah.
as well. So he's like really good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of his music though.
When I was a young boy. There's a
Like-
part in the Umbrella Academy when they go to the parade, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. they're
no.
gonna play it."
Oh no!
But then that kid just gets told to go home because he's a little bitch.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
go home, fucker.
Stupid kid who your dad beats you.
Oh, but then he was a villain, so it didn't matter.
It's fine.
Anyway, this episode of Star Trek is cool.
Yeah, this is like you said. I think this is like a world building episode. It gets lost in the minutia of the goofiness of it because of when it was made. But the theme is very Star Trek, very Starfleet. It's a good lesson. I like it. I was gonna say this is one of the first TOS episodes I remember watching as a kid. I think we were at the shore on our like vacation that we took with our family every year, and we had like a shitty like a fucking like UHF TV, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
antenna TV. Like it was really fucking bad. So we only got like the Philly station and like whatever else. So this was like rerun, and I remember just being like, "Oh, this is like awesome!" And I always loved that like look as a kid of like the shitty Twilight Zone-y special effects. Were
Oh
always,
yeah,
like,
dude,
really
I
magic
love
to me.
like really low budget old special
Yeah.
effects. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan.
Yeah, it's just great. I love it. So I love this episode. I don't care what anybody says. It's great.
I do have another John Larroquette fun fact of
This
the
is
week
like the
for you.
fifth one.
Dude, I'm full of something. William Shatner still to this day suffers from tinnitus due to that explosion that happened near his head.
Oh, he like they like set off an explosion.
Yeah. Dude, I've got
boy.
a non-John Larroquette fun fact of the week for you. I got
Okay.
a Fatty Arbuckle fun fact of the week for you. Because it's about a silent movie star.
Okay.
Do you know Harold Lloyd, the silent
Harold
movie star?
Zoid? Zoidberg's uncle? Yeah, I know Harold
Zoidberg's
Zoid.
uncle. He's based on Harold Lloyd.
I'm gonna ham it up.
He's based on Harold Lloyd, the silent movie star.
yeah.
Well, I've seen a bunch of silent movie stuff because I find them hilarious. Silent movie comedies I find hilarious. I don't watch
Yeah.
anything else. But Harold Lloyd went to a public appearance where he had a prop bomb, like a cartoony prop bomb. that
Like
was,
a round bomb with a fuse.
Yeah. The fuse was lit, and he was like taking photographs, like lighting a cigarette off of it.
Off of the bomb, yeah.
In a move that would not surprise Brandon Lee, the bomb was real,
Amazing.
and it blew up, and
Did he die?
he lost his middle finger and his thumb on his right hand,
That's insane.
and he like had these like 3rd-degree burns all
Who
over
the
his face.
fuck is? What the fuck, dude? Like,
And he got his face fixed and everything, like that was fine, but he wore a fake hand glove over his
Right.
real hand that had a
Right.
middle finger and a thumb on it in every appearance he ever made.
losing your thumb is bad.
Yes, it is.
You need them. Apparently, they're important.
Yeah, tell that to dogs. Opposable thumbs made us the rulers of this planet. So.
I was gonna say earlier, like when we were talking about when you were saying about how it's too unnatural or whatever. Like as soon as we learned how to pick up a rock and throw it, like we started to do that. Like
Oh yeah.
that was it. Everything else was fucked.
You ever think that like eventually there's going to be like a counterpart to humans because like apes keep
No.
learning how to use shit?
Well, that is a thing, right? The chimpanzees are in a stone age right now.
Yeah. Like they know how to use tools.
I don't know if they'll evolve as quickly.
We're not gonna let 'em.
We won't let them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're in charge, right?
I mean, we murdered all of our previous counterparts.
Yeah, that's what we did. We mated them and murdered them out of existence, the Neanderthals.
Fuck them.
Literally, and then kill
Our
them.
planet now, bitch.
It's like that Pearl Jam video.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
I haven't thought of that shit in a long time.
That's a great video. That song is like not that great, but it's a great video.
Do you remember videos?
Yeah, I do. They were great.
They still make them, but only
They still
for
make 'em.
YouTube.
They're still pretty okay. I mean, they're almost. Look, I will say this: they're better in a lot of ways because they can show butts now.
That's true.
And
That
like
is
I'm into
very
that.
true.
So I'll watch a butt video, like twerk videos and stuff.
Dude, there's like back in the day, I remember Toonami did this thing where they were like, we're gonna show like all the best animated music videos tonight, so stay up.
Yeah.
And they played 6 of them because that's all there were.
That's all. I just put in the episode to continue this week, the soul coughing song.
Circles.
Yeah, I put that in the show because
Dude, I fucking love that song and that video.
yeah, it's just Barney walking around. And he's like, "What happened here?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Did this house get
They had
looted?"
another soul coughing one called
Yeah.
Rollin' that was like a
Rollin'.
Betty Boop cartoon.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
That was great. But that was made by Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
but
they're-
like the only like MTV played music videos that had cartoons, there were like 5 or 6. But like you go on YouTube now. Like if you go on YouTube now, like there are so many animated music videos. It's like a fucking renaissance.
It's
of
great.
it, and they all look amazing.
Yeah, there's that one. I think it's a fan-made video though. It's that gunship song set to I think it's an anime, but it's like a World War II dogfight. It's incredible.
Oh, the one I was thinking of is the gunship one, like has like the rock show where there's like vampires attacking it.
Oh yeah,
Because that's official.
yeah, that's them. Yeah, that's theirs.
The one that I'm really thinking about, like the electronic artist Breakbot has like almost all of his music videos are animated.
Yeah.
And the one I'll suggest everybody to go look at Another You is the name of the song. Like, the music video is fucking spectacular. Got a lot of butts.
Oh,
Got a lot of
what's it called?
boobies. Another You by Breakbot.
I'm gonna watch this when we're done.
Gonna watch this when we're done with no pants on.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, look at this.
It's gorgeous. The video, and there's also one. Shit, I forget what it's called. All the Breakbot music videos. Go look at them.
Yeah, they look
But-
cool. Just from what I'm seeing.
This has nothing to do with this episode, though.
This episode's great.
If
If you make fun of it, you're down. You're dingus.
I agree. Like, the jokes about this episode have been going on since 1967.
Yeah, we got it.
Cut it the fuck out. We get it.
Like Joey Gladstone, cut it out.
That's some fresh humor. Start quoting Joey instead.
Whoa, that's Joey Lawrence. It's
Nah.
different, Joey.
Is it made of wood?
You know they called Joey Gladstone Joe Gladstone.
Really? Oh my god.
It came
Joe.
back full circle.
Joseph Joey Gladstone. I bet if you went to the fucking wiki for Full House, it would say
would say
Joseph Joey
I
Gladstone.
bet it does. I bet it does.
Wikis are hilarious, dude.
Like, we didn't realize that his real name was Joseph. No, we couldn't put that together.
Arena, a classic of television.
Yes.
A classic.
It's great. It's super. It's a little. I will to play devil's
corny.
advocate. It's a little long. They don't cut. There's not a lot of cutting that could be done.
You gotta fill the half hour,
right,
kid.
but you gotta fill the. It's gotta be 50 minutes. Back in
Yeah.
the day, 50 minutes.
But
So.
overall, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
I would put this in the top tier list of TOS episodes.
Oh, for sure. This is this. You gotta watch this. This is.
I would put this in my top. It would definitely be in like
Five.
my top 25 Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, this is top 5 TOS. Honestly.
Oh yeah, this is definitely top 5
Yeah.
TOS. Like, City on the Edge of Forever is gonna be number 1.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of the list is, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Watch
this
it.
one.
I'll tell you what, if you would like to get some more Star Trek goodness out of your boys, you can follow us on Twitter at MClassPodcast. Mm-hmm. Or you can send us in an email.
Yeah. What's the email?
It's mclassemail@gmail.com.
Nice.
And I paused because I didn't announce at the beginning of this episode that we're, of course, in a new collection of episodes.
Oh, right. Yeah, we gotta give credit to the person who came up with it.
Yes, we had suggestions and votes from listeners just like you on our Patreon at patreon.com/mclasspodcast. And the one that won out was Boston Sean's Abduction collection.
Oh, this is such a good one.
It is a great collection of episodes. As Josh mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about TNG's Darmok next time, Season 5, Episode 2.
Yeah, tune in and listen to us just fillate the entire episode.
Oh
like,
my
honestly.
god. It's a masterpiece.
I don't
It
even
is a
need to watch it,
masterpiece.
but I will. I don't even need to. I've seen it probably 50 times. Like,
Yeah, I actually did not watch Arena over the past couple days since I watched it last
yeah.
week.
Why? You just
I was
getting
just watching it.
Oh, okay.
I was just watching some TOS episodes
Oh, yeah.
while I worked.
I try to put on, like, I was sleeping to Star Trek for, like, I would leave it on and then go to sleep, but I don't sleep. I just watch Star Trek.
Oh,
if I
yeah.
do that.
That's the thing. Like, I was trying to do work, but I ended
Yeah.
up just watching the episodes.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was finishing up some things today for continue, and like I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching Arena like right now. Oh well.
It's worth it.
Yep.
It's all worth it. Mm-hmm. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thank you to the patrons for voting on that collection and giving us these cool episodes we're going to be watching from here on out.
Yeah, we got an Enterprise episode too.
Yeah. Josh loves it when we touch on that Ent.
That ENT. I love Ents, not the tree people, but the show.
Josh is actually terribly racist against Ents, the tree people.
I'll say this about Ents. They're dumb as fuck.
Oh my god. So that's a good time to end the episode. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll be back in 1 week's time with more M-Class goodness.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm the not racist one. Bye.
Fantasy racist.
I'm mentally ill.